Thursday night is the most important game of Purdue's football history. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. And yes, week one of a college football season is the most important game in the whole history of Purdue Boilermakers. As sad as that may sound, it's true. Purdue has a strong team this year. They're not going to make the playoffs, don't get me wrong. They're, they're not, but they do have the opportunity right here Thursday night to set the tone for the season and in the wide open Big Ten West. In the West, you have Purdue that can win it, Nebraska that could win it, Wisconsin, maybe Minnesota, Iowa could win it, and a win against Penn State would be massive for the Boilermakers, setting the tone of this is our year. But how far-fetched is a Penn State loss against Purdue? Well, it hasn't happened since 2004. 2004 at Penn State, 20-13, which is actually the smallest margin of victory. Since then, Purdue and Penn State have squared off 5, 7, 8, 9 times. And all of them except 2 were by multiple possessions. And with a win against Penn State, with Penn State getting some preseason hype, as they prototypically do, and sometimes rightfully so. I think this year they're a bit overhyped. No major change at quarterback, no real rocking the boat as at head coach, even though they did re-sign him for a ton of money to go everywhere except Penn State. Funny how that works. Nonetheless, this is Purdue's opportunity to, as Vince McMahon would say, grab the brass ring. It is their opportunity right here to set a tone. And why is this game more important? Well, that's because Purdue, they don't play Michigan. They don't play Ohio State. They don't even play Michigan State. This is their toughest interconference game that they will play. Cross-division game that they play. Their other ones are Maryland, and then their annual game against Indiana. And so you're able to knock off a team that has a lot of hype around them, and even if they don't end up being as good as people say, it's still a big win for that moment. And it creates that momentum that allows you to beat bigger, better teams. And then they got two softballs in Indiana State, Syracuse, and FAU. At Minnesota, I think Minnesota can be good. This might be the one that they trip over, but it's still a very winnable game. At Maryland, winnable. At home against Nebraska, that's winnable. In Madison, Wisconsin, play the Badgers. I still think the Badgers are way, way overrated. They are still going off the hype of Graham Mertz, who has never shown to be that good. Best quarterback Wisconsin's had over the last 10 years, not named Russell Wilson. Then what? Jack Cohen? Maybe? Scott Tolzien? I mean, I think Aiden O'Connell is a lot better than Graham Mertz. It's going to be tough in Camp Randall, but nonetheless. They get Iowa at home, which makes that game even more winnable. Purdue should be favored there. At Illinois, home against Northwestern, and then on the road against Indiana. So that's 12 wins is on the line in this game Thursday night. If Purdue beat Penn State, there is a very solid chance that they can go 12-0 going into the Big Ten title game. Very, very solid chance. Purdue, and then on the Penn State side, is also incredibly important for them because they have to run through that gauntlet of Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State. They're going to be punching up. And on top of that, they play against Auburn, which I don't think Auburn's any good. Auburn's going to be bad, I would even say. But they have Central Michigan, Northwestern, and then in the big house against Minnesota, against Ohio State, at Indiana, home against Maryland, at Rutgers, and Michigan State. So if you trip and fall against Purdue, you're looking at potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses, sitting at 7-5. That's not a very good Penn State schedule. It's not a Penn State record. That's trouble. Because if you don't beat Purdue and lose in a heartbreaking fashion, that carries. And you're looking at 7-5 at worst. Maybe they rebound and are able to beat Rutgers and a Minnesota. But still, this game is a huge tone setter. And this is a must win for both teams right out of the gate. And really wish the Big Ten would do more week 1 games like this and have those tone setter type games. Because this game is going to be. This is going to be one of the. This is probably the most underrated week 1 game of the year. And thank goodness it is on a Thursday night, prime time, almost standalone. Because this game deserves it. The implications involved, the potential momentum swing. This game is huge in Big Ten terms. And potentially, national perspective, it could be huge. Because if Purdue goes on to win this game, they'll have enough momentum behind them. They can rip through that schedule unscathed, possibly. Because their toughest game is at Wisconsin, who doesn't have a quarterback. And it is so important. I will be streaming that game live here on my YouTube channel. I really hope you come join. It's going to be so much fun. Really hope to see y'all there. Thursday night, I'm going to start the stream at 7:45 or 15 minutes before the game. So, yeah, 7:45 Thursday night. Really Really hope to see you there. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate it. And I will see you Thursday night live, watching along the Penn State Purdue fight, football game fight, however you want to phrase it. But it is going to be a fight. So, see you next time on the Dylan Hilder Show.